Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share my round two game from Parma, played this past week. Let's see, it was July uh, 14th, maybe? Um, so my first game was the one that I posted yesterday against Jeffrey Geminian, and today is the one against Jim Slagle. So this was exciting because I've only met and faced Jim Slagle online due to the pandemic. And also, he lived in Southeast Ohio, which is a good 3 hours away from me. But I was told he recently moved to Northeast Ohio, like Cleveland area. So I will be seeing more of Jim Slagle and his Polish opening that he loves with the white pieces. So here we go. This is a G30 game, and Slagle had white. I faced this in the Tuesday tussle online, and so it was really just a neat experience to face it in person. So this is kind of like our other games. He loves that move c4. Okay, attack the bishop. d5 takes, and queen takes. So I'm saying if you would like to take my knight, go ahead and do so because your development is terrible and I still can castle queenside. And computer agrees this is good for black. It's part of my preparation actually. All right, so he attacked my queen. Now here is where I actually forgot my preparation. So I was like, am I supposed to move my queen, or I mean, I assume I'm not supposed to like let him take my queen. Yeah, so turns out I have a different move in mind. I'm not going to say it because he might watch. But this game, I took the knight. Now, it's probably not the best move, but it is an option. Computer doesn't mind this. And he did take with a bishop because he doesn't want to isolate his pawn on c3. Now here I developed my bishop into f5. And he played this move, queen b3, which was a little bit surprising to me. I didn't expect it. And it's kind of a good move because, well, it attacks my queen and it attacks my pawn on b7. So the downside to that move maybe is that it doesn't do anything to develop the king side, but I can't find anything inherently wrong with that. Okay, so here I thought about some moves. I was more concerned about this move now though. Like if I castle, for example, like could he trade queens? Oh, if he trades queens first, doesn't work. Could he do this first? And then if I take back, I lose my queen, so I have to take here first. I mean, is this so good for me? Computer says yes. Okay, I have a lot to learn about chess. So I think that I'm just better developed, and I would be very curious how a game like this would play out to where black is fine, but it has to do with the lack of development, I'm sure. I was concerned about that during the game though. So after queen b3, I actually played queen to d6. This move is okay. And I had an idea. So this does defend the knight. He played knight to f3, so I did decide to castle kingside. Sometimes I do castle queenside in these lines, but it's a scary proposition. I mean, really? Should we just like walk right into that? You know, like I wasn't too excited about that. And of course he can't do it right away, but you know, this would happen. Okay, so I did castle kingside and he played e3. Okay, and I saw a familiar idea here. I've played for this in other games against Slagle where he creates a hole on d3 and he's a little behind in development, so I try to get in that hole. All right, so knight to e4. Maybe I'll take the bishop who knows? He played bishop e2. But here was my real idea. Knight to c5. Okay, so that attacks the queen, and it attacks the hole on d3. Now, I've got great control over that square. I could jump in immediately if I want to, knight d3 check. But I actually threw in this move, so it's not a good move apparently. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I'm offering him a pawn to develop my rooks and give them an open b file. He did accept this sacrifice, so I opened up the b file, or I put my rook there, and then I jumped in, check. Okay, so that's uncomfortable, right? If he takes, he can do that. My bishop will be quite a monster there, stopping him from castling ever, taking away the square too. So that looks pretty bad, but the computer says it's just equal. So probably he can get the bishop out somehow. Probably with the knight. But after this move, he played king to f1. It's a reasonable move. Yeah, after king to f1, I was a little nervous because I feel like he has a lot of ideas. You know, he has this and he has this, and I don't know what else. Oh, knight d4. All of these look kind of threatening. So I was going to play rook b6, but I thought if rook b6, what did I think? I actually was scared of e4. Yeah, computer does confirm this. e4 is a problem because it separates the defense of my knight and it attacks my bishop. So I would have to, I don't know what, knight d to e5, I guess. I mean, am I losing material though? Because here. It actually says queen d4 is very strong. Pinning the knight to mate, attacking the bishop. This is bad. Yeah, I think I'm just lost. So, I saw that and I didn't like it, so I decided to defend the knight again with this move, but I kind of missed, wow, computer likes knight to h4, which I didn't consider that much. But it makes some sense. If I go bishop g6, wow, what happens if I take with a pawn? Then he goes bishop d3. Okay, my rook's attacked. I would expect d4. Computer says no. White should just play rook h to c1. Wow, yeah, you have to be careful. Like when you play aggressively and you're attacking, if your pieces get all pushed back with tempo, then suddenly like you're not attacking, you're the one that's being attacked. So, I mean, this targets my knight on c6. So, apparently that is not good. Okay. But in the game, knight to d4, which I also thought was pretty good, I think I have to take the knight. I don't see a way out of this. So I did take it, and he took with a queen. So he wants to trade queens. So I could do that. Yeah, and I have to cover mate if I don't, so that's why I went there. And he went pawn hunting. So, okay, he's going pawn hunting. He's saying, my king's on f1, so what? I'm up like 2 pawns, and if your attack fails, I will win. Okay, fair enough. So here I played a bad move, rook to b6. So I was thinking about doubling, and then I have some weird threats with rook b1 check, which may or may not work yet. Looks like they kind of work. But he can take this, and I think he did. Now, the computer gives a really interesting move here. The move rook to b7. Look at this move. If he takes my rook, I play bishop e4, and the truth hurts. So I'm threatening mate and the queen, so he would have to give up his queen. And this is actually equal. Pretty interesting stuff. But when I analyzed with National Master Michael Jolson, he showed me a really cool idea too. He said, hey, like, that queen is almost trapped. Like, can we play to trap the queen? And he gave moves like queen c6. So now the queen is trapped. And if bishop f3, we were looking at here, lining up with the king. And these lines are very interesting too. Like, I think it's very easy for white to misstep and go wrong. Queen's not trapped anymore. Has this square and that square. But if there, I guess there is this. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. And the computer gives king g1 here. Who would play that? No, I guess it does make sense because step out of the discoveries. Okay. Yeah, so these lines are very interesting. They're actually so complicated that I can never explain them right. But in the game, I was under 2 minutes at this point. I reconstructed the rest of the game from memory because I didn't have time to notate. But here he went g4, I took. And I had some crazy ideas. Like, if this, I checked. I actually had a win. And then rook here. And then g6 because I was scared, as ever, of getting mated. Queen here. Queen h5. And I was covering this square so that I could go rook check. So that's a big threat. And when he played queen to g5, I couldn't believe it because I was going to win the game. And I did play it, rook b1 check. And that is mate. So, I mean, time pressure, silliness in the end, but I felt like I played the game well until I got in time pressure, and then I didn't play so well. So, but it was an interesting game, and I mean, I think Slagle was winning at the end. I mean, if we go back to where I played rook b6. Yeah, the problem with rook b6 is that he can simply take my pawn, and if I double, I mean, can he just go like, okay, g4. But maybe just queen g3, right? Like, just block everything. And I don't have the same trick anymore because the king can get to g2, right? So like if I did this, now my queen's still attacked. Huh. I'm actually curious about that move. It's just too bad the queen's defended by everything. Oh, wow. It says he should take, which is weird. I would take here. Yeah, I mean, even though I have a rook versus bishop, I mean, look at that. That's a pass pawn and that's a pass pawn. So, I mean, it says like white's slightly better, but I mean, practically speaking, white might be winning there. So, yeah, pretty interesting game. I'll just review it a little bit. So, we had our normal opening, and I forgot my preparation here, but I reviewed it since then. I kind of liked queen d6. Let's keep the play in the position. And I'm not upset about this part. Now, it turns out that, you know, when I land this in, it's not winning. You know, it's just annoying. And white has a lot of ways to deal with it. It's just reality. Especially when you play black. So, yeah, like white's better here. So I might even review the middle game plan and see if I can do something better. Yeah, grab the pawn. Yeah, and right here, I mean, my real crime is that I didn't manage my time well. Because had I managed my time well, I think I could have played the interesting queen c6 move, trying to trap the queen. But rook b7, I don't know if I'd ever see that. That's a cool move. So anyway, I did win this one, and I won the game against Jeffrey too. So I will show you the final round where I will try to get 3 out of 3 at Parma. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to you then. Okay, bye.